Hey everybody, it's Lawrence. Welcome to another edition of my answering of questions about love and sex and sexuality and helping you to be a more integrated, sexually integrated human. What I want to talk to you about is I was at Whole Foods the other day. I was talking with two women and they were complaining that they've just found more and more men unable to sustain erections. And they asked me why, was there something wrong with them? So here's the thing I want you to understand. First of all, if you're a woman listening to this, understand that it's normal to feel stress and performance anxiety for men. And what I find that the thing that's important to me is communicate that, to say, hey, look, I may have a hard time keeping an erection because especially with a new partner, I can feel very nervous and uncomfortable. And so I'll communicate about those things. I personally have had anxiety around sex since I was young. And so it was always important for me to have some kind of communication where I'd say, hey, look, I may not be like have 100% erection. So understand that here's what's going on for me. And so now it has nothing to do with you because it never does. It's always about kind of my own anxieties. So that's number one. Put it on the table. Right. So if you are a woman and you're listening to this and you're with somebody who's having troubles with their erection, understand that it has way more to do with them than you and may have nothing to do with you at all. Number two is men are sexualizing to porn and dopamine stimulation and certain motor sensory movements. So they're doing motor movements and then they're stimulating a certain way. And so what happens is when you get in the bedroom and you're dealing with a real live human being, that can be something that, men are just not used to. So that's another thing that happens. So again, communication is key. Now, if you're a man listening to this and you're one of those men who is having trouble keeping an erection or getting an erection, there's a number of things, and we'll talk about this more in other installments. But the first thing to understand is to communicate about any fears or anxieties you have. Make sure you have the safer sex speech. So man or woman, always have the safer sex speech with your lovers. Find out what you need to feel safer. I will give you the safer sex speech in another video. Number three, understand that it is very normal to have things kind of be awkward at times in the bedroom, that things kind of come and go and ebb and flow, that these things are all very normal. But we are mammals with voices, and so it's really important for us to communicate about our needs and about things that make us feel safe, and also to communicate about our sexual desires. The other thing is, if you are a man and you do have regular trouble with erections, there's a number of things you can do that can include having a dildo. You have fingers and you also have a mouth. So any of these things can be used and be very, very satisfying, even if your penis isn't working, where you want it to be. And until you either kind of communicate in such a way where you gain more confidence and then your erection is with you, or you do the porn diet. Because if you're in the porn stimulation thing and you haven't broken that neural network, then that can be, you're in a dopamine loop, and you have to break that loop. That takes about 30 days. I have another video discussing that. The final thing that I want you to understand is that it's up to you to learn to communicate about your needs, wants, and desires, and be creative about the way you express those with another person. But do understand that women want connected, deep sex and naughty sex and all of the things as much as you do, but we have to meet and find common ground. And common ground, of course, is what my Tantra X program is all about. As a man, it's learning how to develop the sensitivity and skills that you're going to need to be a better lover, be more communicative, C, more aware and in tune. And part of that is being comfortable with your erection or lack thereof and being able to communicate about what's going on for you, even if that means you just say, hey, look, I've been alone for a year, and so I'm kind of in this porn loop. I'm wanting to break it. I would love your help in helping me do that. So anything is possible. If you are with a partner, you want to make sure you're with a partner who can handle those conversations and those parts of you that need to be embraced and loved and brought into the adult sexual space of conversation. Thanks for joining me today. This is Lawrence. Please feel free to email me with your questions or anything that you want to know more about what I call the reality of sex, where the rubber meets the road, because that's what I'm interested in. Where does pleasure work for you? And we're all about having more fun and more pleasure and more freedom in your life today. Feel free to hit me up at my website or tantrax.com to order the program, and I will see you in another installment. Talk to you soon.